Bye-bye.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, I can hear you.
Good morning. I can hear you.
All
Good
right.
morning, I can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, sir. Rocco Okeya. I hope I'm right. Good morning to you, sir. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us. Adeyemi Olalekan. Thank you very much. Thanks for the confirmation. All right, let's get right to it. Good morning, once again, everyone. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, gentlemen. And if it's your first time today too, good morning to you too. And you're welcome. It's great to have you join us today. It's another brand new trading week. It's our morning market review, and I really do hope we're hitting it as hard as we can. So this session holds every day, Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. So every day you get to meet with top analysts, and what we try to do is to look at what's going on in the market, as it concerns fundamentals and technical setups that we have. And this is also with the hope that we'll be able to pick one or two assets that we can add to our watch list for today and even for the rest of the week as well. Usually, I like to start with the majors, pairs with USD as one of the currencies. And from there, we start looking at other pairs that I'll be watching for today. And as I always say too, it is also our hope that when you have joined and listened long enough here on this forum, you're also able to come up with your own profitable flow or strategies that will give you an edge over the market. All right. So let's get right to it. Today we have PPI. We have PPI for fundamentals, and that is simply is similar to CPI. That's simply producer price index, and it's a measure of the average change in the selling prices that are received by producers for their output. For CPI, it focuses on consumers, but for PPI, the focus is on producers. That's the difference. All right, so let's get right to MT4 for technical setup that we have. Just a minute, I'm going to put up my chart now. All right, there you go. Okay, so this is the USD index. Of course, I like to start from here so that we can understand the direction of the dollar index. Once we do, we can easily relate this to the other major pairs that we have. Now, for the DXY, we've talked about this several times on this forum, and I believe we have been following very closely, and we have been taking advantage of the moves that we see for USD index as well as Euro USD, Pound USD, and the rest of them that we have been looking at in this call. Okay, so there's been some really fantastic news for DXY, and most recently we also got the NFB data that was last week Friday, 10th January, and that data also came out solid for the dollar, which is also indicating a strong economy and further strengthening the bullish bias that we have on the dollar index. Now, look at the dollar index, the most recent pullback that we got here. Hold on. Yeah, the most recent pullback that we got here. This sell-off here was driven by, I saw a post that suggested that the incoming president, that's Donald Trump, was backing away from his tariff plans. And later, Trump himself dismissed the claims, and then we got this rally again. But even if you look at the technical setup, this move got to this resistance at 109, which has also been on our radar if you have been following us on this forum. All right, so we got to the 109 resistance, and then from there we got this pullback back to this support area. And from there, after Trump came out to dismiss the claims, we got another rally towards this 110 level. Okay, now I was looking at this 110 level for this reason. This trend line that I have here All right. This trend line that I have here. Okay, let's take it from here. This was from early 2023, beginning of 2023. You see it as resistance. And then if we continue to fast forward to what we have currently, you see multiple retests of that same trend line. And then most recently, we also got a retest of that trend line. Now, it's also possible that this could be the top for this bullish move that we have. It's quite possible. However, if eventually we get a close above this area, I'm going to highlight it. If we get a close above this area, yeah, if we get a close above this resistance area, what that would mean is that there's still more upside potential for the USD index. That would mean there's still more upside potential for the USD index, maybe towards level like 110.5 and probably 111. Now, also remember that I highlighted this weekly imbalance to us. Just a second. Yeah, this one here, this candle. This bearish candle here. I remember I highlighted it to us as a weekly imbalance. It's really bearish, long bearish candle, but we didn't get any retest of that. We didn't see any pullback into this area for price to fill this imbalance. And then that's what we currently have. I've seen that field of that weekly imbalance, and then it got to resistance at 110. Okay, so like I said, it's also possible that this is the top for that bearish move. And however, I'm going to add again, if we see a close above this resistance area, which comes around price level 110, we see it close above that area, then it would mean that there is still more upside potential for the USD index. All right. And if that's going to happen, then it means that Euro USD, Pound USD will continue to be bearish, and pairs like USD CAD will continue to be bullish in the event that we get a close above this resistance area. But if this turns out to be the top for the USD index, then what it means is that we're going to start seeing lower highs and lower lows from this current level. But first, price needs to take out this 109 support. Price needs to take out this 109 support. That's it, close below it, and then you continue to see lower highs and lower lows from that level. All right, that's what I have for the USD index. So now that we have an understanding of the direction of the dollar index, we can now easily relate this to the other major pairs, starting with the euro dollar, starting with the euro USD. Okay. So initially, we're looking at for euro USD now on the daily time frame, of course. Don't forget, the daily time frame is like our anchor time frame. It's the best place to start so that we can have a general overview of the direction. On this chart, we can determine the trend and also important support and resistance levels. So this is usually our anchor chart where the main analysis is carried out. We can then tune down to a much lower time frame for entry opportunities. Okay, that's for Euro USD. So initially we're looking at the range between 1.04575 and then 1.035. Okay, and then to start 2025, we've got a break below that range support at 1.035. We've got a break below it, and then price pushed to 1.02 level. Now at this 1.02 level, we're seeing some buying pressure at that level. And of course, it is not unexpected because this level is now acting as support for price. Now acting as support for price. So what it means is that as long as price stays above 1.02 level, stays above the support, then we can expect more push to the upside. Now, of course, this level here will be one to watch. This level, this 1.035 level would be one to watch. If we eventually get a correction towards that resistance at 1.035, of course, we'll be looking out for the kind of pattern we get at that resistance, 1.035. We'll be looking out for the pattern we get at this level. If we can confirm a bearish pattern from that level, then we would have a confirmation that price will start pushing lower from that resistance. However, if we get it close back above, this resistance, then we expect that resistance to turn to support, and then we can expect price to continue to push higher from that support if it plays out as highlighted. So as it is now, price is stuck between 1.035 level and 1.02 support. And as I said, we're seeing some buying pressure at 1.02. So for this bearish move to continue, it's going to take a close below this support for the bearish move to continue. But as long as it stays above that support and we continue to see some buying pressure, then we would expect this to continue to push higher. We can expect this to continue to push higher. And this is also dependent on the USD index getting bearish from the current level, as highlighted when we talked about USD index. All right, so for Euro USD, that is the expectation. That's the expectation. If price stays above the support, then we can expect price to push higher from that support level. So what it means is that from this current level now, we'll be looking out for buying opportunities. We're looking out for buying opportunities. But in the event that we get it close below that support, which comes around price level 1.02, then the bearish move is still very much intact. That is what it would mean. Okay, that's for Euro USD. All right. So moving on to Pound USD. But before we move on to Pound USD, let's switch to the lower time frame there to see. Okay, this is what Euro USD looks like on the 1 hour time frame. And we can see on this 1 hour time frame that is well above the 50 period moving average. We see it's above the 50 period moving average, which of course signifies strength, So and on the 50 period moving average, we see that we have some bullish pattern right here, So if this current candle can still finish bullish, then that bullish move would probably continue. Towards the resistance at 1.035 as I highlighted earlier. All right, so moving on to Pound USD now. Quite similar to Euro USD. All right, so for Pound USD, we have again on the daily time frame. Don't forget our anchor time frame. We have this AMA. We have this AMA candle. Of course, this is a bullish pattern. So for Pound USD, it would mean that it has to stay above this support at 1.22. It has to stay above support at 1.22 level. If we have that, that would also mean that we would probably get upside movement for the pounds USD. It would mean that there is still some upside potential for the pounds USD if it stays above 1.22. However, for the pounds USD too, a close below 1.22 would also invalidate the bullish move, and then we can expect price to come back to 1.2080 or even lower prices, for pounds USD. All right, let's move on to USD cards. USD card is one that we have watched really closely. If you remember, from the weekly time frame, I highlighted this on the weekly time frame, and then don't forget, I was also very quick to add that for this weekly time frame, it's as a day trader, we are really not paying attention to the weekly or monthly time frame as day traders. And the simple reason again is because these two time frames are so far out that it really doesn't have much relevance to our trading. But of course, we can as well use it to get some perspective. We can use it to get some perspective on our trading, but not necessarily taking trades here as the day traders. All right. So at that time, I remember highlighting this move here, which started from as far back as 2015. You would notice price has stayed between this range. Now, this is on the weekly time frame, like I said, from support to resistance, from resistance back to support, from support back to resistance again, and then from resistance back to support. You see that range, and then from support, of course, a few pips away from that resistance, as well. All right. Now, going back to the daily time frame, I also highlighted this level, how price has stayed between this resistance and this support at 1.387 and 1.32 for about 2 years. It was stuck within this range as well, going from support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance. 2 years, this range here. And then eventually we got a break above resistance, and that was the trigger to go long. That was the trigger to start buying USD CAD. Okay. So we got that, and then it continued to give us a series of higher lows and higher highs up till this support here at this resistance here at 1.445. Okay. Now, if you look at what we currently have here, we are also seeing a range. We're also seeing a consolidation at this current level. Now, again, all of this is on the daily time frame. So we currently have this consolidation. All right. So, of course, two things. Number one, it's either we get a break above the resistance or below the support. That is what would make this more defined, in which direction this breaks out. Of course, the market has the last words. We'll be watching out for how this plays out eventually. But what we do know is that currently it just retested the support here, and then it's possible that we get a run back to resistance. However, if we get a close below that support, then we may expect price to continue to push lower from that level. And because the base currency here is USD. That means this would also be largely dependent on what we see from the dollar index, whether it close above the 110 area that I highlighted, or we start seeing a reversal from the current level for USD index. All right, so this is for USD CAD, and it's one that I'm watching really closely for more trade opportunities. Of course, we got it when it closed above 1.387. It was a fantastic trade, closing above 1.387. And this is also a trend line that I'm watching. This is also a trend line that I'm watching from this support level around September 2024. It's been acting as support. It supported price multiple times. So what that also makes is that if we get it close below that trend line, that of course will be bearish for USD CAD. But currently, it's just we tested the support, and then it's possible we have another run towards resistance at 1.44500. So like I said, we're watching this very closely to see how this plays out eventually. See how it plays out eventually. All right. The next one I would like to talk about is Euro NZD. Euro NZD, because I remember I pointed out this potential fake out. I pointed out this potential fake out to us. If you look back to what we got here, this was middle of 2024. If of course a fake out, price broke above this resistance at 1.839, and then we didn't see or we didn't get a follow through on that. As soon as price closed above that resistance, of course, we should have continued to see higher highs and higher lows from that level. But that did not happen. It closed back below resistance, and then we got this fantastic push to the downside. It's setting up here like we're going to get a repeat of what we got here, middle of 2024. We've also seen a break above the resistance, no follow through on that. Price has closed back below resistance, and then we're seeing some selling pressure from the current level. All right, so it's going to take a close below this support. It's going to take a close below the support level for the bearish move to continue. Currently, we're seeing some buying pressure from that support, which is expected. Support areas usually attract buyers. Okay, so if we get a push back to this area because of the range we have here, so if we get a push back into this area, and then we get some bearish pattern at that level, that would be the trigger to sell from that resistance. That would be the trigger to sell. The second scenario would be if we get it close below this support, then it will mean that the bearish move is set to continue for Euro NZD. It is one to watch because of the potential fake out that we have right here. That's for Euro NZD. Let's move on to Euro Pounds. Also setting up quite fantastic. Also setting up quite really well. Of course, we're looking at this more like a descending triangle. We're looking at that range. We got a very convincing and aggressive break above the upward trend line. And then we're also seeing a follow through on that to resistance at 0.84. Okay. So for Euro Pounds, it's going to take a close above the resistance to confirm that the bullish move would continue, It's going to take a close above this resistance. We're seeing some sort of ranging right here. So it's going to take a close above that resistance to confirm that would like to get higher prices from euro pounds. However, if we start seeing some selling pressure at that resistance, then that would mean a correction would be in the cards. A correction would be in the cards for euro pounds. All right, next up we have NZD-USD. I added this because it's beginning to look really constructive. It's beginning to look really constructive. Looking at this pair now, looking at this pair, it has fallen to this critical low that dates back to, this is on the weekly time frame, by the way. This is on the weekly time frame. So it's falling to this critical low that dates back to this was March 2020. We got a retest of that level October 2022 as well. And then currently prices retesting that same low yet again. All right. We're currently seeing a retest of that same low. Okay. So which, of course, if you look at this, it's also a triple bottom. It's also a triple bottom. And then we're also seeing some buying pressure from that level. All right. Of course, buyers are stepping in because of this critical support level. And then it is expected. So as it is now, it's a good time to start looking for opportunities to buy. NZD USD because of this support level that we have around 0.555. Okay. So what would, of course, invalidate this would be a close below that support. What would invalidate this would be a close below that support. So as long as it stays above this support level here, then it has potential to continue to push higher. Maybe we test this resistance. Maybe we test that resistance. We'll get there in a minute. USD JPY. Okay, USD JPY is coming up next for Victor, and then we're going to get to US 100 in a minute. All right, USD JPY. Okay. Of course, one look at this and then we can tell that it's bullish. We can tell that it's bullish, but as we can see, it's beginning to lose steam. Of course, USD is the base currency there. And then we have this resistance level as well as this support, And then we can see how it is stuck within that range. It's recently retested this resistance there at 158.5. Let's check lower time frames. Okay, this is 4 hours. Let's see what it looks like on 1 hour. Okay, it's really quite messy on the 1 hour time frame. The move here, it's really not clear. So what it means is that for the USD JPY, the most ideal thing to do would be to wait it out, wait for a break out of that consolidation. wait for a break out of this consolidation that we have here. And of course, the break would either be to the upside, break above the resistance, or break below the support for this to be more constructive. As it is right now, it's ranging and it's really messy. So it will be most ideal to wait for a break out of that consolidation for it to get more constructive. All right, that's for USD JPY. Up next, Euro AUD2 will be setting up a nice fake out. Will be setting up as a fake out. We look back at what happened here, middle of 2024. Again, price broke above that resistance at 1.66, but it failed to continue in that direction. It broke out of that resistance and then closed back below it. And that gave rise to this bearish move that we got. Fast forward to what we currently have. Here. It's closed again above that resistance, and then we have this bearish move back below the resistance, All right, setting up really nicely for a potential fake out. So as it is now, if it stays below that resistance, if it stays below this resistance, which comes around price level 1.66, stays below it, then it has potential to continue to push lower from that level. However, if we get it close back above that resistance, then it may mean that we're going to see price push higher from that level. This is on the daily time frame. This is what it looks like on 4 hours. And then if you connect this trend line, it is also strengthening the bearish move, because if you look at this period, it acted as support multiple times, and then eventually we got this break below the trend line and even back below this support level, okay, which is of course a bearish structure, of course, a bearish structure. So what it means is that we'll continue to look for opportunities to sell. We'll continue to look for opportunities to sell as long as it stays below this resistance at 1.66. It's just 50 period moving average. I'm going to say period 50 exponential, and then apply to close. It's as simple as that. Okay, moving on to gold now. Right. Okay, it was on 4 hours time frame that we had that analysis of from this high here to this low. That's a bearish move there. And then I remember at that time, it was just breaking above the 38.2 level. At that time, it was just breaking above the 38.2 level. And then I was saying to us that if it breaks above that 38.2 level, then we're going to see price push higher. It breaks above the 38.2 level. And interestingly, we got exactly that. And then price pushed to the 78.6 Fibo level. All right. Also breaking above this trend line here. Breaking above this trend line resistance. You see it now. It started from the all-time high. Here. At around 2790. Started from there, 2790. just stay with me. It started from this all-time high, and then the trend line also back here as resistance again right here. You see it, and then eventually we got a break above the trend line. We got a break above the trend line, but the next day we got a close back into the trend line. Got a break back into the trend line. Now this is interesting because this may be playing out too as a potential fake out. This may be playing out here as a potential fake out. The whole of the pricing may be playing out as a potential fake out. Now, what we now need to see here for gold is for price to close back, of course, as it is now, for it stayed in this area now for 1, 2, 3. No, not days. That was on 4 hours time frame. All right. So for 1, 2, 3 days, it stayed in this area now. So what I'll be looking out for here would be a bearish move. Closing back into convincingly now. Of course, we have this bearish engulfing candle already on the daily time frame. We have this bearish engulfing candle on the daily time frame. So what it means is that we may get a fail of this bearish engulfing candle, and then from that level, price starts to pull back from that level. Okay, I'm going to take this out. All right, so for me on gold, because of this bearish engulfing candle, also closing back below the trend line, is currently looking like a bearish structure. We may also have a potential fake out here. We may also have a potential fake out right there. But of course, on the 1 hour time frame, we have this bearish engulfing candle too. So what we need to see would be a close below this support level here. Right, would be a close below this support level to confirm that the bearish move would continue. On the 1 hour time frame, we can see that price is trading around that same trend line. But we have this bearish engulfing candle. So for this to turn bullish, it will take a close back above this bearish engulfing pattern that we have here. If we get it close above it, then we may see a run towards that resistance. But if that doesn't happen, and instead we get a close below this support level here of this range, get a close below that support, then we can expect price to push lower from that level. That's how I'll be approaching gold. That's what I'll be looking for on gold. All right. Okay. Yeah, before we get to US 100, let me quickly highlight this for us. Oil, you remember, it is one of the assets that we watch really closely as well, because of this pattern that we saw here, because of this consolidation that we saw here. We highlighted the resistance of that consolidation and also the support level of that consolidation. And then eventually we got a break above the resistance. We got a retest, and then that was the confirmation to long oil. You see, on the 4 hours time frame, it's quite clear. So we got a break above the trend line, we got a retest, and then this gave us bullish engulfing, which was our trigger to buy at that time. And then it gave us a fantastic run. Towards that resistance. Initially, we're looking at this 77 level. we're looking at 77 level here. And then it pushed even higher from that resistance, and then it's now trading around this 80.7 level, which is also quite significant. If you look at what happened previously, you see it. We have price there. And then before that, we got this. And then this as well. And also this, and even this, you see. So the focus is now on this 80.7 level. The focus is now on this 80.7 level. Now, at this current level, you may see some retracements. You may see some retracements. And then, of course, the bullish move is still very much intact, but it is not immune to pullbacks. It is not immune to corrections. So we may get a pullback from the current level. But the that pullback, of course, will present opportunity to go long again. That pullback will present opportunity to go long again. And if we now eventually see a break above resistance at 61.8, then that would be another confirmation to go long. So number one, two things here. We get a correction into this bullish candle here. We get a correction into that bullish candle, which may come in around the 50% Fibonacci level. And then at that level, we look for bullish patterns to go long. That's one case. And then the other one would be if we get a close above the resistance from the current level. That would also be our trigger to long oil. All right. Oh, did you come late? We talked about USD JPY already. We talked about USD JPY already. All right, so let's quickly head over to US fund rate. Let's head to US fund rate. All right, so for US fund rate, this is an ascending channel that we watched really closely. This channel here, these two trend lines, that is the resistance here, and then support here. And you can see how price has tested it multiple times. Okay, sorry, my mouse froze. All right. Ascending channel here, we have resistance here, and then support right here. And you can see how price has tested those two trend lines multiple times. Back here are support, resistance, support, resistance, support. So it stayed within that ascending channel up until we got a break here below that trend line. Now, breaks below like this, of course, signifies weakness. However, it has also found support at this level. That's 21,000. Found support at that level. And see what happened here too, as resistance, the same 21,000 level. So what it means is that it's going to take, for the bearish move to continue, it's going to take a break of that support. We need price to close below that support for the bearish move to continue. But if it stays above that support, then it has upside potential. Maybe we're going to get a retest of the trend line as resistance, and then price eventually falls from there. It's one that will be watching really closely to see how this plays out eventually. But as it is right now, it's looking really bearish because of the close below this trend line support, because of that close. Again, as mentioned, it has now found support at the 21,000 support area. So two things. We may get from this current level, we may get price may continue to push higher towards this trend line to test it as resistance, and then we get a sell-off from there, or from the current level, if we get a close below the support, we get a close below the support, that would also confirm the bearish move for US 100. All right, one or two more. One or two more. Let's take USD CHF first. Let's take USD CHF. Okay, what do you have on 4 hours? Yeah, on 4 hours, this is what it looks like on 4 hours. This is what it looks like on 4 hours. Don't forget, this is the level we are watching. This is the level we are watching. Right now, price is above these support. Prices above this support. See what happens here as support, and then we got that push higher. The same thing right there. So currently, prices are above that support. So, like I said, it has upside potential if price stays above that support. So it's going to take a close below that support to confirm that the bearish move will continue. It's possible from this current level to get it pushed back to this trend line to retest it as resistance. To retest it as resistance, and then it sells off from that level. So that's what it looks like on 4 hours for US 100. DE40. Okay, I saw a double top pattern on DE40. I saw a double top pattern on that from this level. This double top here is a bearish reversal pattern. The bearish reversal pattern. All right. On 1 hour, let's see what it looks like. Okay. So on this 1 hour time frame now, right, we have you see this consolidation here, price broke below it, and then we pushed lower, and that's level, we pushed lower. So we got a lower high, and then right again, it's beginning to look really bearish from this resistance now. Initially was support, and then it's obvious we're getting some selling pressure at that resistance. That's for the effective. So we'll continue to look for sell opportunities as long as it stays below this resistance, which was the support of this range. So the support from that range. Precious, I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Yeah, Chino, also, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's what I have for D30. That's what I have for D30, and I hope you got it. Is it doing now? Yes, yes. I hope you got it. Okay, just one more. before we call it a day, just one more before we draw the curtain for today's edition of the morning market review. Want to look at Euro CAD or AUD USD or USD CHF. All right, let's take USD CHF. Okay, so for USD CHF, we have this trend line resistance. That's 0.1. Right here as well. And then the third retest was back here. Okay. And then eventually a break above the trend line. We got a retest and then bullish engulfing candles and then a fantastic rally from that level. Right. Okay. So currently we have this level to watch. We have this level to watch. Price is currently above it, but the last time price was above it, here, what happened? It closed back below it, and then that was what gave rise to this bearish move. That was what gave rise to that bearish move. Now, it's possible that we get a repeat of that move right here, as it's beginning to look bearish. But the first confirmation we need here would be a close below this support, would be a close below this support. A convincing close below that support may start the beginning of a similar pattern that we got here. It closed above that resistance, closed back below it, and then we got that aggressive sell-off from that level. So right here, technically, it's looking like the same pattern instead of here. But first, we need to see a close, convincing close below that support, so that the whole of the price level here would be a fake out, would be a fake out. Right, so that the whole of the price level here will be a fake out, and then you can expect a similar aggressive sell-off like we got back here in like we got back here May of 2024. Okay, so this is one to watch as well. This is one to watch to see how it eventually plays out. See how it eventually plays out. All right. So for today, this is where we draw the curtain. This is where we draw the curtain for today's edition of the morning market reviews. I want to thank you all for taking the time to join us today. I look forward to seeing us again tomorrow for another session of the morning market review. Thank you very much for joining. I wish us a great trading day.